Hi everyone, Andy right here from the Aquaponics project. Hope you're all well. This is the third of our videos, and I thought today we've got a video that kind of goes along with the with a blog that we've just written as well. So check out the blog. I'll put a link in the bio for this, and if you enjoy the videos, you enjoy the content, please do give us a little thumbs up. And if you want more of it, click the subscribe button, and then you'll get a little notification from YouTube telling us when we are releasing a new YouTube clip. Hope you enjoy, guys. All the best. So, potting out, not really too much difference from growing in regular soil, really. I guess the only couple of differences is I'd like to use quite a small pot just to start with. That way I don't get too big a root growth before putting it into the aquaponics system. And second thing difference is just the water. The water comes directly from the aquaponics unit because it's already rich in lots and lots of nutrients there. So it's kind of a natural compost tea. So I've got a soil mixture here. 1 part compost just from our compost bin here, and 3 parts just shop bought soil, shop bought topsoil. It seems to be growing stuff all right at the moment. It's already quite moist, this soil actually, but we'll just top it up a little bit. Okay. And got here some rocket. Really like these big old bags. I'm growing a few microgreens here as well, so it's great having the seeds in this quantity for the microgreen system. So that's quite a high number there, I think you can see that. And we'll just put a bit more water in the top, and the soil in the top. Okay, so no difference really to potting out other than just a small pot and the water that comes from the aquaponics unit, which already has lots of nutrients in it. Okay, we'll leave it there, guys, and we'll move on to the next stage, which will be looking at transferring the greens. So we've got some just here, just some lettuce ready to go out. It's maybe a little bit bigger than I would have liked to go in the aquaponics unit, but yeah, we'll get that taken out now. Well, so next stage. This is in the weather we got at the minute. This is about 2 weeks worth of growth. It's been really cold here, so stuff hasn't, even in the greenhouse, hasn't been growing that quickly. But you see, this is lettuce. The one that we showed, the earlier one was rocket. We're quite similar in terms of germination lengths. And so what we're going to talk through now is just having a look at cleaning these out and getting them ready for the aquaponics beds. And this is a little bit different to what to how you would pot out in a regular soil-based system. Okay. So the first thing that we've got here, it's a little bit murky now, is a mixture of kelp solution. So generally try and use this. You must use something organic in the system, in your aquaponics system, so I tend to use it for the soil-based stuff as well. So it's a small part of that, but the rest of it is again just water taken from the aquaponics unit. What we're going to do is we're just going to create like a little bath here for the plants, where we're going to need to give them a good wash. As I said, these were grown at quite a high density. As I said, I'm experimenting using kind of a microgreen system, so some of these I will go straight in a small salad and garnish for a salad, and the rest of it are going to go in the aquaponics unit. So let's get this cleared up. Should come away. One way of making this easier is to keep the soil kind of just a little bit dry, and the soil I've used here is dehusked coconuts actually, which is really good for it comes away, it breaks away very easily. I like it. I like the idea of using a waste product from something. Okay, so we'll give that a little shake off. That will break away quite nicely. And see what we do. give it a tickle. Give the roots a tickle. There you go. And then we've got a couple of ones that are kind of naturally breaking away here. And so there we go. And quite a thick root structure going on. And again, we're just trying to break away as much of the soil as we can. Don't be forceful with it. We're trying to keep the roots as intact as possible. The fact that the soil, as I said, is just a little bit dried out. That Coco Coir is really good for it as well. And so now we're just getting some nice dried out ones. And without too much damage to the roots at all, without too much, you usually see if you damage the roots, they'll fall off at the bottom. Without too much effort, we've got a nice few shoots there. Final stage then, as again, these have been drying for probably a day or so. I haven't watered them, so now I'm going to give them a good water in this nutrient-rich water, and as well we're going to clean off as much of the dirt as possible. As I said, this is how it's different to potting in soil, because we really don't want any of this soil left on there, because it's going to go through the aquaponics unit. Little bit's all right. It's never going to be possible to get everything off. Go. So without too much trouble at all, I've got a few nice shoots there that are ready to go in the aquaponics unit. And I'll probably pop this all in as it is. Again, I don't really want to try and separate them singly, just to damage the roots too much. So I'll pop this in as it is, like this, and then what I'll do is in probably, it's a really good growth off the Growlights system at the moment, so probably within 3 or 4 days I'll come through and I will just take off the few shoots, leaving probably just 2 or 3 shoots remaining. Okay, there we go. There we go. There's more or less all of the dirt has come off it. That's ready now to be planted out in the aquaponics unit, and we've got some nice roots there that will take quite easily. Hi guys, right, so coming towards the next stage now, and we're looking at just planting out the plants. So we got here, this mint has been here for ages, happily growing away, we chop it for a little bit, but mainly this is a salad based bed. Some of it, they grow really well actually. I've transferred the salad in here around about 4 or 5 days ago, and look at this, I mean, it's growing really well, taking off really well. It needs a little bit of a trim, which I'll talk you through as well. Okay, so first off though, let's get these shoots planted. So there you go, I think you can see those from last time. We've just transferred, we've just taken as much of the dirt off it there as we can. And really easy to put them in the aquaponics now. I've got a lot of space in here in a minute. Let's grab a little bit of space here, I think. So it's stocked at quite a high density at the minute, and yeah, I'm just interested to see if it will work at that high density really, how much growth I can get off it. There's loads of nutrients in this system at the moment. Loads of nitrates, especially running quite high. So I'm interested to see just how many plants I can grow here. So this is much higher density than what I'd normally grow. Let's give these guys a go as well. So you pinch them just at the bottom of the stems there, okay, and then kind of like a claw. It's like, think of that like grabbing claw that you get from the old arcades, the ones that no one ever won. So there we go, and all we do is push it in. There we go, with it keeping a little bit of a solid pinch, and then push the balls up around the end. And because we've done it at quite a high density, the root structure is really strong there already. So if we pull it up, there we go. And what you're aiming for is the water. You don't really want the water touching the leaves, so the water should get up probably just to the bottom of the central stem, and then just flush it when it's at its highest point. So our high water point here is just coming up in a second. Pretty much comes up to most of those points there. Okay, so the blog that goes along with this was all about using Growlights, and so I thought it's definitely going to be worth us looking at those. All right, we've been through a few different iterations of using Growlights here. This one, again, this is a proto-size system, so really all we're doing is just experimenting with the Growlights themselves. These got reasonably cheaply. I'll pop the link for them is in the blog, which I'll put in the YouTube thing. They are, I think they're 32 red and 12 blue. I think I'm right saying that. I'll put a link on if I got that wrong. Basically what you'd want to try and do with the Growlights is you're trying to keep them kind of 5 or 6 centimetres away from the tops of the plants. And you can see here how these are growing. They're shooting upwards because they're trying to get to the light, and that's absolutely fine. Like that, but you can see how, I'm not sure, I might need to take the camera down just a little bit. This little fella flew too close to the sun, and as a result he's got a little bit scorched as well. Oh, that's me. There we go. Okay, so when I first started these off, the Growlights were, as I said, 5 or 6 days ago at the very most. The Growlights were quite low down, just at the top, and now I'm raising them up slowly. And just practicing and experimenting with getting them slowly higher. So these will sit quite nicely on there. And then that sits on top, and I have these Growlights on for 12 hours. At the minute I'm doing it at night time, but I might experiment and see what happens if I put them on the day, because I know, and again we'll write about this in the blog, our kind of idea here is trying to represent or replicate what the plant's natural growing habits would be. So we might have a little go at that later on, putting it on in the daytime rather than night time. Some people keep their Growlights on all the time. I tried it for slightly longer and it stressed the plants out. So at the minute they're on for around about 11 hours a day in the evenings, overnight. Okay, and I think you should just be able to see, there they are, all growing happily in there. So not much to it really with the Growlights. We've attached them just to a simple piece of ply. I think that's about 10mm maybe of ply. A couple of things there just to easily take them off. And the most important thing is just to keep raising them and keep looking at your plants as well. As I said, that kind of indicated to me that scorched plant that I showed you before. The scorched plant from down here, that indicates to me that maybe they need to be raised up a little bit more, and yeah, just to stop it, or maybe this one needs to be picked and stuck in a salad. Yeah, I hope that's useful, guys, and we'll look at the trimming stages now. So one of the last stages we look at to getting really good growth is, so this was the original plant that we put in there, and so we'll leave that in there for probably about 3 or 4 days, and then we'll be at this stage now, which is the trimming stage. And I forgot, so here's one that I've just trimmed away yesterday. And always best when you're trimming to trim using some scissors. Don't try and pull them out. Remember we saw how thickly knotted the root structure was. So we're trying to keep that root structure nice and intact, and so we can just trim away the shoots that maybe don't look like they're growing quite so well. So this one here, we could maybe just trim away a little bit there. This one here, you see I've given it a good trim yesterday and I'm already getting some regrowth there. These ones here seem to be going alright. That one there, a little bit of competition maybe. We could trim that off. We're aiming for kind of 2 or 3 shoots per cluster, if you like. So this one here, we need a little bit of just gave that a trim yesterday. growing back too quickly as well. Okay. So there you go. That's I trimmed it all yesterday, so not really too much to do there, but you get the idea. Once this grows, after 3 or 4 days, we'll cut it back. So we're aiming for just a couple of leaves, a couple of shoots growing from each part. I think that's it for the trimming phase. That's it for the looking through using Growlight phase. I hope you found it useful. If you want more content, if you want to suggest any content, please do stick a comment down in the bottom. I hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, all the best.